Hi all, good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, before proceeding, any questions, anything you want to discuss, any clarification on any of the topics? No.
On Friday,
Mhm.
Manikanta posted one question regarding if you modify any any in the file.
Mhm.
After that, if you load, all data will be loaded, or only modification data will be loaded.
Data will be loaded on, define data will be loaded. Sorry, I forgot the question. I think I have discussed with Manikanta. Manikanta is there on the call? He's not there. Okay, anyway, just let me check. I forgot, yeah. I have discussed that with Manikanta, that question. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Question. Okay. Hi. What happened to the staging area if you run the job on copy of source file with modifications in some record data that will skip loading? No modified records into staging area, right? A copy of source file with modifications that will skip loading. No because. Sorry, I forgot what I was discussing. What question he has posted. Let Manikanta joins. Okay. What happened to the staging area if you run the job on copy of source file with modification in some records data? Find records into staging area, right? I had a discussion that day with Manikanta, but I forgot what was the question he has asked. Okay, so
Yes,
just uh,
if we get the source file from the source team,
uh,
after that we need to we want to change some data in the source file. We are loading
uh,
the file.
correct,
Only
correct.
modification data will be loaded, or full data will be
Correct,
loaded.
correct, correct. Got it. Yeah, yeah. I remember now. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Let me check if everyone has joined. Okay, Manikanta has also joined. Gautam, Sunil, Swati. Okay, fine. So let's start now. Okay. So Manikanta has asked me a question last week. So I wasn't able to understand at that time, but later point of time, I had a discussion with Manikanta and we have discussed, but fine. Let's discuss that again. Okay. The question was, suppose this is the source file. Okay. This is the source file I have received from the source team. This is the source file I have received from the source team. Then I have validated the file format, header, trailer, count, everything looks good. So after that, what I will do, I will run a job. Correct, no? I will run a job to load data in staging. Okay, so now this is your staging table. Fine, this is your staging table. And this data will be loaded in your staging table. Okay. Now, of course, there will be few more columns, and like you'll be having inserted date, then you'll be having updated date, maybe active flag. Then I mean that audit columns will be there apart from this. Okay, will also be there. Now data has been loaded in a staging table, a staging layer, right? Fine. Now case two. Manikanta told that then we in the same file what I have received from source. Okay, I want to test a scenario. Okay, I want to test a scenario. Maybe intentionally I am deleting this profit of 600. Okay, I'm deleting this profit of 600, and already it has been discussed with the business that if profit value is missing, then this record should be failed.
Yeah.
You guys remember this?
Yeah.
I've discussed this no last class and someone has asked me that, Tanvir, if we have 20 columns in a table, so are you going to check each and every column? Then I replied that no, you have to discuss with business that what all columns are mandatory, right? And you need to test only those columns. You guys remember that discussion?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Manikanta wants to test this scenario that, okay, business has told that if profit data is missing, then this record should be failed. Correct. They should be failed. Now try to understand this very carefully. Now in a staging, oh, this is a job. Let me highlight this another clip. This is a job. This is the job. In a staging, already you have data, correct? This data already you have populated in a stage. Now the question is, I have modified this source file. I have deleted this profit column. Again, I am running the job to load data in a staging. Okay. So now the question is, what will happen to this staging table data? Correct, Manikanda? This was the question.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So how this will behave? Now let's try to understand how this will behave. Always, whenever any new set of data is coming, and if your stage is not in a truncate and delete mode, if it is truncate and delete, then there is no question. There's no need to do any discussion, right? There's no confusion. Means job will delete all these things blindly. It will not think. After that, it will copy from here. Correct, no? And then it will paste it here. Correct? But
Yeah, yeah.
profit data is missing, so it will reject this record. This will not be loaded. So this will the data in your staging. Very straightforward scenario. If we are talking about truncate and load, if your project is working in truncate and load mode, so truncate and load mode concept is clear here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clear.
Yeah, okay. So if it is truncate and load, there is no confusion, no need to do any discussion at all, because your job will delete all the data from a stage. It will not think anything. Blindly it will delete. Then it will copy from here. It will paste paste it. But here the profit is my value is missing, so it will reject this record. It's clear, okay? Now, in the same case too, this was the first scenario. So for this is scenario one, truncate load. Now coming to scenario two, where there is no truncate load. No truncate and load. Then what will happen? Let's try to understand this. This is important one. Try to understand. Unable to understand, tell me, I will repeat. Now, you have run the job, correct? Now in staging, already you have this data. Now, you are trying to insert these records, right? Now in this table, which is your primary key? Which is your primary key in this
Date,
table?
date.
Date, right? Based on date, you can segregate the data, right? This is the one
Yeah.
which will segregate, okay? Now try to understand the very, very, very important concept. Now, when your stage job is not working on truncate and load, no truncate and load. So this is critical. You have to understand this. Date is 1st December. So now this job will check the data from here. Here again, date is 1st December. Here again, date is 1st December. So your job will get confused. What to do? Why? Because
Yeah, both
job.
are
Yeah, tell me.
yeah, both are date same.
Both
One.
date are same. So job will
Yeah.
get confused that already I have a record with the same data. Then why business has sent the same data record again? Correct? Correct, no?
Yeah.
Job will get confused. So, but then job will think that maybe there is some modification in the data. That's why source has sent it again. Now it will start comparing each and every column. Restaurant is Delhi. Restaurant, it is again Delhi. It is same or not? Same.
Yeah, same.
Profit is 500. Profit is 500. Again, it is same.
Same.
Cost is 2000. Cost is 2000. Again, it is same.
Same.
So job will think that there is no changes in this data. Everything is same and already this data is present in the stage table. So this job will ignore this data. Job will ignore this data. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Okay. Now, suppose suppose the cost was 2000, but now the cost is 2100. Assume it. Okay. Maybe the last time when the source has sent, by mistake he has mentioned cost as 2000, but actual cost was 2100. Guys, we already have discussed this, but again I'm repeating. But now the cost is 2100. So in this case, what will happen? This job will do a comparison of cost as well, and the job will see that okay, earlier cost was 2000, now it is 2100. It means there is a change in cost, or maybe the last data was not the correct one. Correct. So the job will think that this is the more correct data. So now it will do two things. Either it will copy this entire data and it will paste it here, because the job will think that this is a more accurate. It can do like this. Okay. Or it will do like this. I will tell you. Already 2000 was present here. It will take this data and it will paste it here. And it will mark this older record as N and this one as Y. It means this is the active record and this was the older record for the same date. So now from this you can see the history of data. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
That's clear.
Everyone?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, perfect. So these
Yeah,
are the
clear.
two ways. Okay, and most of the project, most of the ETL project works on this strategy. Those who are working in live project, no, maybe they can realize it more clearly. So this was about the first record. Now, what about the second record, Tanvir? What will happen here? Correct? Okay. So we are done with this. Again, the second record, when the job will see that okay, this is 2nd December data, and here we have 2nd December data as well, right? It is already present. So what job will do now?
Job will check the other parameters, the other columns.
Other columns.
Correct. Then job will check the other columns. The student is Delhi, restaurant is Delhi. Profit is missing here, and profit value is present here, right?
Yeah.
2500, 2500. Now this profit is missing. So do you think the job will copy this and it will paste it here? Is it like this?
No, because of if any column is missing, the job will fail. That
So
specific load will
that
not be loaded.
That will
Specific
be
data.
dropped.
job will not pick this data at all.
Yeah.
Job will not pick this data at all. Why? Because the profit column is missing, and this record will be failed or rejected. But now the question is how you will come to know that this record is rejected, how you will
By
verify it.
use audit tables.
Perfect. So make a habit. Please make a habit. After running each and every job, go and check the audit tables. So audit tables will give you the information that how many records were received in the source file, how many records has been loaded in the staging table, how many records were updated, how many records were rejected, and then you can see the reason for those rejections as well. Okay, have I answered the question?
Yeah.
Everyone
Yes.
understood this? Yeah. But there is a twist here. Whenever you want to check this kind of scenario, okay, you want to check that if the profit is missing, how the system will behave. Okay, and all these things you have to do in sit environment. No, in sit environment, you delete the data, insert a data, whatever you want, you can do. No one is going to ask a question to you that why you have changed the database, why you have deleted this record. Because sit is your environment, SIT, system integration testing. This is your environment. Do whatever you want. But if I have to test this scenario, okay, what I will do, first of all, I will delete all the record from staging table. Okay, to keep the things very simple and straightforward. Okay, so my staging table will be like this. I will not be having any data. It will be like this. Correct? I want to check this scenario. I will keep this data in my source file. Fine. Then I will run a job. I will run a job. Now, in the staging, what you're expecting after running this job, what data will be there in staging? Only first
Record.
record.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Then I will check. Then I will think that, okay, in source file, I was having 2 records. In staging, I'm having only 1 record. Why the 1 record was missed? Then I will go into the audit tables and I will check the reason. Then I will verify that, okay, this is a valid rejection because this was the expectation that if profit column data is missing, this record should be rejected. So if I have to test this, I will test like this. First of all, I will delete all the data from a staging table. Now, easily you can verify. But in this case, if already you have data in staging, in this case as well, you can verify, but this will be a little bit complex. Any other question? Any other question?
Tanvir, that audit table in the sense, so we need to check it in any specification documents or what?
No, last class we have discussed about audit tables. Okay, you
In the sense, inserted and updated column.
no audit tables. No, you have a separate tables, audit tables. Okay, so in this table you have columns like batch ID. Okay, you have process ID. Okay,
Value.
records present in source file name. Just high level I'm showing you this. Okay, records inserted, records updated, records failed. Okay, like this will give you information. Some other information is present in this audit table, and this table will be having some name. Okay, maybe like log underscore stage, something like that. You have to discuss this with your developers. They will tell you. So now when you will run this job, no, so at each and every run, this job will create an ID. Okay, at each and every run. So suppose you run this job and there's a new ID 345. So this new 345 ID will be populated here automatically. You don't have to do anything because in the job they have to load data automatically in this. Okay, and then this record will show you that how many they will show you the source file name. Okay, then you can verify that, okay, this was the source file name. How many records present in the source file? So here the 2 records are present in source file, so it will show you here 2 records. How many records inserted, rejected? So here it will show 1 record rejected. Okay, so you will think that, okay, this record rejected, so what is the reason for that? Then you have one other table, you have to go into that table and that will show you the reason that why this record was rejected. Is that clear?
Yeah, Tanvir, clear. Yeah,
Clear.
fine.
So every project, ETL project, they will be having this audit tables. This is a mandatory. If it is not there, you can ask a question to your developers that why you don't have audit tables. This table will give you a health check. Okay, like in your apartments, like you have that no person security guard is standing there at the gate. He'll be having a register and then that is going to make an entry at this particular time. This person has entered this mobile number. He's going to meet someone in this flat, this particular person, right? Similarly, this is an audit table. He will keep this all this entries, how many records inserted, rejected. Fine, and you have to do testing of this as well. Audit tables is capturing the data correctly or not. Fine. Any other question? Yeah.
Yeah, Tanvir. Actually, in Informatica, what we are getting as a session log, that is like
Perfect.
that is this same as audit tables, right?
Perfect. A session log. So actually, the data in this audit table is getting loaded from the session log only. Okay. But
No, like session log is same as that of audit tables or what? It's different actually.
no, the session log data what you're getting now. So those data are getting loaded in these audit tables. They both will give you more or less same information. But if you're asking that it is exactly same, so maybe sometime in audit tables we are going to add some more columns. Okay. But what the session log will give you information, same information is present here in audit tables.
Okay, developers will create these audit tables, right?
Correct. Yeah, developers will create this audit tables, and the data in this audit table will be loaded simultaneously. That once you will run the job, no. So this job will load data in your staging. Once the data in staging is getting loaded, completed, then immediately as per the statistics, as per the stats, how many data got inserted, rejected, your audit table will be loaded immediately after this. And you have separate audit tables for staging, separate audit tables for integration layer and access layer. But in some projects, they will maintain the one audit table only, and in that they will make a segregation of the staging, integration, and access. But overall, the story is for each and every job run, your audit table must show the stats. How many records were there? How many records inserted? How many records failed? How many records processed? How many records updated? And all these informations. Okay.
So audit tables are also presented in staging layer only.
Yeah. It is present in staging. Sorry. Yeah. A staging layer. Sometimes it is present in some other schema. Okay. But again, that depends from project to project. In my project, it was present in different schema. Fine.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
Gautam has asked me for SQL queries. So Gautam, I'm still working on that. Okay, I'll show you. So yesterday we have completed that SQL batch. So you see, these are the few of the interview queries which are asked more frequently. But this I have close to 20 queries. Okay, I'm working on this. So once this is done now, and I will share you with queries and solution as well. Okay. While if you have my LinkedIn account, you can go through that as well. I used to post queries there as well. Okay.
Okay.
I'll share with you. So just give me some more time, and then we can share with you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
ATL queries as well. I will share. But guys, whenever I'm teaching, I used to tell no that this query is used to ask in interviews. So please make a note, because those are as per our experience what we used to ask to the candidates. Okay. Fine. So any other question, or shall I start?
Please start.
Okay, fine, perfect. My screen is visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay.
Yeah, visible.
Fine. Sorry, I have bad throat for a long time. Okay. This is WinZip application. We have discussed in the last class. This application, the main task is to move file from one location to another location. Okay. So very simple application. Okay. This is a login page. You have to give host name, username, password. The host name will be shared by your team lead or developer. They will give you that this is the host name. And okay. And this is the, after login, you will get this page. I think I have shown you this earlier as well. This is your local machine page. Okay. So you can see in my C drive in desktop learning path, I have this documents. And this is a Unix box page on the right side. You can see I've received these files from the source team, taxes file, revenue file, assets file. Okay, so like this you will get automatically. Means if it has been discussed that daily by 8 a.m. morning, if you're getting those files. So if you will check at 8 a.m. automatically, though all the source files must be present in this location. And you can see here, from here you can change you can move the file from one location to another location, or you can jump from one location to another location. Okay, or if you want, you can edit, you can double click here, you can open this file if you want to change the data if you want. Okay, so you can do all those things here. Okay, this is the only, you want to move the file from this Unix box to a local, you can just click here, drag and drop, or from here you can move there. Okay, you can do all those things. Okay, this is just same thing I have zoomed in and I'm showing you here. Okay, you can see this is the Unix box, and this is showing size and when this file was received, this file information. Hope this is clear. I've shown you here like this file is in .dat, this is in .xls, this is in .csv format. So what all formats it has been received to the business, you will get file in that format. Now this is Unix putty terminal. Guys, those are not speaking, please commute. Okay, and please keep on asking questions. This is putty terminal. Okay, again you have to give your host name, port. So all these things will be shared by your team leader. Okay, developers. You just click on open, a new so what I can say, window will be open, and on that window you can write your Unix commands. Okay, if you're good in Unix commands, you can write your commands, and like file validation you can do using those commands and all those things. Okay, so those who have worked on this, maybe you'll be having an idea. If you're not worked now, so you should try to learn Unix. That will be very useful if you want to work in ETL project, if you want to do some automations, because you don't know, or maybe if you don't have any idea, don't want to go into that Unix area now. Okay, because you'll get deviated from the main agenda. Okay, so but this is the putty terminal. From this you can enter the window where you can use those Unix commands. How many of you know Unix here in this batch? Anyone?
I know some few basic commands.
Sandeep, okay, fine, perfect. Anyone
Basic,
else?
I also know.
Madhvi also know, very good.
Yeah, basic comments.
Perfect. So you guys know, perfect. So you know all means flavors of Unix. Okay, perfect, very good. Okay.
Sir, how this will be connected to the database regarding file validation, file data validation, source versus table.
Source versus
File versus table. On that day, you have said we have to connect it to the Unix to the Oracle database, and we have to write select stars from staging table.
Okay. Got it. So your question is, this is not getting, just a minute. Why this is not getting, yeah, fine. So your question is that Tanveer, suppose in this case, I have loaded this, I have received this source file, and I have loaded, no, take this example, this is the source file, I have loaded this here. How I can validate that all the records has been loaded in a staging correctly, right? This was the question I think you have asked last time. So what you can do is, this is the terminal. When you will connect, no, you will pass your username, port, and all those things. So it will open up a new window. Okay, black, it will be a black color. Then you have to give to the path, you have to go to that particular path first of all. Then you have to use cd command, cd and then path where your files are present. Okay, then it will move you to that particular path, and after that you have to use that ODBC connections. Okay, you have to give that ODBC connection, your server name, few connections are there. Okay, very simple. If you will check with the developers and they will share with you, so just enter those details and click enter. So now your Unix will be connected to your Oracle database. Okay, so what you have to do is, then after that you have to write a query. Select a star from this table, or select this is columns from this table. If you have some where condition, write this where condition, and when you will execute that, so from this Unix terminal you can execute the query in Oracle database or any other database. Okay, now then your Oracle database is connected from this Unix. So from this Unix you have entered your Oracle database. Now from there it will give you the result. So what you have to do, you have to save those results in a file, and that that can also be done using Unix commands. You can using pipe and all those things. So now the data what you'll be getting from those database, you have to save that in a file. Now already you have received the source file, okay, which is this one. This will be presented in one source file. Now you can compare both the source files. Okay, so now you have the diff utility in Unix. So through that you can compare. If there is an exact match or if there is a mismatch, so that will throw you a message that okay, there is a mismatch, and from there you can compare it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not sure if you have understood or not, because I cannot connect to that Unix now, but that is something a high level flow chart I have told you. Through that you can do. If you're working in a project and if you are trying that, you can connect with me. I will guide you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Fine. Any other question? Okay. So this is the basic file level validations I think we have discussed. Okay. So please make a note of this. This is very important. And if you're working, you should check all these things. Because in all these 11 points, we have faced scenario where it has failed in all this, believe me. Okay. So that's why we have gathered all these points from file level validation only. Maybe you will get this question in interviews. Any question on any of these points, how to validate? If you want to automate, so the best way is you can automate this using Unix. Okay, so that's why I'm telling, if you want to automate, please learn Unix. Now there's a concept of duplicate source file validation. I think not mentioned here. Okay, duplicate source file validation. Sometime what happened? Okay, I think I have covered this when I was telling you archive folder, right? That there must be archive folder in your Unix box. What was the need of that archive folder? Why I have told to keep it?
For backup process.
In that, yeah, in the archive, previous dates records will be going, previous dates file will be going to present.
Why? What will the problem if it is not there?
Because at the time of running the job, only one file should have to present in the path.
Correct. We have discussed that suppose I have received a particular file, I run the job, so still the same file is present at the same location. And again, if I got one more file next day, so now at that particular location you have two files. You can see here. Now we are having two files with the same name assets, right? At this particular path. Okay. So if I will run the job will get confused, no? So which file to pick? Correct? Are you getting my point? Job will get confused which file I have to pick. So in that case, maybe the job will pick both the files and it will concatenate all the data chances. Okay, maybe the job will pick one file, it will reject other. Maybe the job will pick other file, it will reject one, or maybe job will reject both the files and it will throw you an error message that we have duplicate source file. These all cases are possible. Okay, so that's why you have to check this scenario as well, that if you have two source, okay, I have told you about archive in the last session, that you should have an archive folder, that when you have one file, you have run the job has already the data. So after that, this file should move to the archive folder. You guys remember we have discussed that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Correct, that was clear.
Yeah.
So now suppose by mistake, okay, that was different scenario, because you have run the job has moved to the archive folder, that is working perfectly. Okay, now I'm talking about a different scenario. What is happening here is by mistake, you have kept two files here. They both are same files. You can see assets. You have kept two files by mistake. Archive function is working perfectly. This is different scenario, guys. Today morning, 8 o'clock, I am running the job, and by mistake, I kept two assets file here. Now, this is a duplicate or not?
Yeah, duplicate.
Okay. Now, tell me, I mean, honestly, don't think from any perspective. What do you think? If I will run the job, how the job should behave if there's a duplicate file? What is your thinking? What do you think? What should happen? If there is a duplicate file? Tell you, come on. Okay. Ideally, the job should fail, first of all. Very straight, plain vanilla scenario. If there is a duplicate file, the job should fail. First thing. Okay. And you have to test this as well. Because sometimes it happens, the source team by mistake, they will send you 2 files. It happened. So if you're running the job and if the job sees that there are 2 source files, then the expectation is the job must fail. Is this clear? Not clear?
Yeah,
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Yeah, clear.
But
Yeah,
some
Tanvir.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how it can fail actually, the number you have given is different, right? Actually, the file name.
File
It
name
will
is
pick anyone, right?
correct. Here the file name is different, right? This one, if you're checking at this 21082021800809, okay. I do understand this one is different, okay. But suppose take an example that file is considering till here only assets underscore 21082021. So till here everything is same in both the files.
Yeah, then okay.
You are correct that if it will consider both till here, so it is different. You are correct. What if I am considering 21st August 2021? So both the files are from 21st August 2021. So job will get confused, no? That how is it possible that I have received 2 files for the same date? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Here.
Why I have taken this different? So I will tell you the reason, because sometime in your file you have the timestamp as well. Okay. So that's why you have received this by some delay. Okay. So you have 2 files at the same location and there might be multiple reasons. Maybe the source has sent this by mistake, or maybe you have kept this by mistake, or something has happened. Okay, don't think about that. Who is the culprit here? Okay. Now the question is how your job should behave. That's the question. So ideally job must fail. Ideally job must fail because now you have 2 duplicate files. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Now the question is if the job will fail, how you will get notification that job has failed?
With error
You will
message.
get a email notification to all the
Email
members.
notification. Email notification. This is again a feature which you have to test. If any job is getting failed, you must receive an email notification with the recipient's address. Okay, intended recipient's address. If a job is getting failed, you don't want your business users to be intimated. So business users address should not be there. Only testers, developers, and support team address should be there. That depends from project to project. But in my project, it was like the support team, developers, and testers will get a notification that this particular job has failed. And then immediately they will start looking into that why this job has failed. That's the flow. Okay. So here, if you have duplicate files, the very straight condition is the job will fail. Now, the job has failed. And suppose the reason was the source team has sent this duplicate file. Please try to understand this. I'm telling some complex scenario of this file validation. Okay. You have received two files. They are duplicate. The job has failed. You have received email notification. Now, as a tester, you're doing the analysis. Then you observe that this job has failed because you're having 2 duplicate files. You have done the root cause analysis. Then you observe that these 2 files were sent by the source team. You have dropped an email to the source team that why you have sent this duplicate files, our job has failed. Till here, the process is clear. You will go like this only, right?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, now the source team is telling you, that actually these are not the duplicate files. Try to understand this. The source team is telling you that these are not the duplicate files. Suppose, just a minute, let me show you more realistic scenario. Give me 1 minute, okay? I need to prepare the data, then it will be more realistic for you guys. Today is 12th, right? 13th or 12th, yeah? 13th. 13th, 12, 2021. This is one source file. And suppose this is .csv. Okay. Okay, suppose you know that Excel, it will not take the same name. So it has added 2 here, so you can ignore this. But these two are the duplicate files or not, right? Duplicate files.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Okay. Name. Snacks. Sorry, this was the date. No? Date. Make it profit. And make it cost. Just snacks here. Name is daily. Date is 13/12/2021. Profit is 200. Cost is 100. Snacks is samosa. Similarly, you have one more record. Same date. This 100. This is 50. And this is maybe this one. Right. This is one data. Okay. Let me save this one. Close this. Save the file. Named date profit cost snacks. Okay. Yes, daily 13/12/2021. Profit is 500. Cost was 300. And this was dosa. Okay. Close this one. Now, files have kept open. Let me close all this file. This is getting confusion actually. Then you can close this one as well. Close this one as well. Okay. Fine. Now try to understand this, guys. Okay. Now you have two files. You are thinking they both are duplicate, right? Correct. You are thinking they both are duplicate because the name is same. But here the data is about samosa and rasmalai. But in the second file, data is about dosa.
Dosa.
Now, of course, the both files seems to be same if you are going with the naming convention, right? They both are same. But is the data same?
No.
No,
No.
data is not same.
So source team has told me that you are thinking that they both are same, but actually the both files are not same. My bad. What happened? I forgot to add this dosa information in the first source file. So after some time, I have sent the same source file with adding the information of dosa because a mistake, I forgot to add this in the first source file. Is this clear? You got the reason because of this duplicate?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone got it, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now here the source team has forgot this by mistake, but sometimes it happens intentionally as well that your business transactions at every 1 hour or every 2 hour difference, you have to send a source file with the dates like 6 to 7. The transactions, what has happened, immediately you have to send after 7. 8 to 9, then you have to send the transaction details. Then 10 to 11, you have to send your transaction details immediately. One of my friend was working in e-commerce site, okay, that Snapdeal. This happens there. They have to understand how their business is working. at each and every instance. So they need to modify their offers accordingly. Hope you can correlate this. If you log into those e-commerce sites, Amazon, Flipkart, any other site, no, during festive offers, so very rapidly you will see that the offers are changing. Okay, maybe the particular mobile is available at this cost, and then immediately you will see that this is available at some other cost. So immediately they have to work on their data, the transactions, and accordingly they have to frame new offers or new policies and new rules and regulations. So sometimes it is by mistake or sometimes it is intentional. So whatever it may be, the source team has told you that this is because we have sent new set of data. So now then you have a discussion and the source team told you that, yeah, this can happen down the line as well because our business goes like this only. So now this is not a defect. This is a requirement, right? You understood, guys? This is a requirement that you can get two files which appears to be the same duplicate, but they're not actually duplicate. They have different data inside. First of all, is this scenario clear or not?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Now tell me, now if you're running the job, what is your expectation? Job should fail or not? First of all, tell me this, yes or no? The job should fail or it should not fail?
It should not fail because different data. We have to load the both the data.
Perfect. Very good. Now the job should not fail because now this is the requirement. The source team has told you that you can get sometime two files because our business behaves like this. Now, what is the requirement? If the job will not fail, what it will do? It will take the data from both the files and then it will load into the staging table. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone? So maybe if you're working in a project, maybe you don't have this scenario, but again, I'm repeating, I'm teaching all those things from generic perspective. You never know down the line if you're going to work in another project and this scenario will come. So you should know this. If this will come, you should not tell that job will fail because you have duplicate files. Because earlier when I started this, I told you that the job should fail, but then I told you a special case. So both the scenarios are possible. So you need to discuss this with the source team, with the business. Okay. If they will tell that, oh, by mistake, I have sent this source two files. Actually, I have to send only one file. Then in that case, the job should fail because why you have sent duplicate files? Okay. But if they're telling that, no, we have sent this intentionally because we have distinct records in both the files, then the job should not fail and it should take the data from both the files and it has to load into the staging table. So that needs a discussion with your business and accordingly your job will behave. Any question on this? Duplicate source file validation? If no, I'm moving to the next one. Now here I have mentioned multiple source file validation. Okay, what's the difference between duplicate source file and a multiple source file? What is the difference between duplicate and multiple? Come on, yeah, very simple. Who will tell me?
More than one file.
Data will
be different in multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Data will be same in duplicate.
Data will be same in duplicate. Okay, fine. Now today is Monday, right? Today is Monday. Last class happened on Friday, 10th, right? Correct? Okay. Okay. 10th. Try to understand this scenario. 11th. Okay, now suppose my business is running all the days. Means Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the days. Okay. Till 10th of December, my manager in Delhi, Raghu, has sent a source file. Okay. But maybe something happened. Raghu went on leave on 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th, Raghu was on leave. So he has not sent me the source file on 11th and he has not sent me the source file on 12th. Now Monday, 13th, Raghu is back. Okay. So now Raghu will send me only 13th data, or he should send me data of 11th and 12th December as well. What do you think?
Yeah, you should send the 11th and 12th of dates also.
Right, because Raghu was on leave, but shop was open. So there
Yeah.
must be some transaction. So ideally, Raghu has to send me data of 11th December, 12th December, and 13th December, right? So now Raghu has sent me data of 11th, 12th, and 13th. Okay. Now, are these duplicate files?
No.
No.
So this is an example of multiple source file. Okay. Multiple source file. So again, this depends on business. Sometimes the business will send you multiple source file. So now if you will run the job, what should happen? The job will fail or not?
Should run.
It should not fail.
It should not fail because this is a
Yeah.
valid business case,
Yeah.
right? The job should not fail. Then what the job will do? It will pick the data from all these source files and then it will load into the staging table. Correct? Correct, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yes.
This is a very, very common interview questions, not for freshers, but for those like who have 3 years, 5 years, or more than that experience. You will get this question that you have a source file, okay, from the same location, and you got multiple source file. So what do you think? The job will fail or not? They will try to confuse you. Okay. So you have to ask that first of all, what is the business case? If it is expectation from the business that they can send multiple source file on a particular day, then it is fine. The job should not fail and the data of all this source file should be loaded into the staging table. Okay, so guys, this were the two very special cases of duplicate file and multiple source file. So, and so far in what all projects I have worked, so we have the scenarios and you should know this. And believe me, when if you have any discussion with the business, you should ask these questions. That'll make a different reputation of yours. That okay, this guy has all this minds, his mind is having this brilliant ideas. Okay, fine. So any question on this? Shall I proceed?
Yeah, proceed.
Sure, thank you. Next is data extraction methods. Okay, so I told you a structured data and all those things. So full load extraction, full data is extracted from the source and there is the results. No need to track the changes, but it all happens with heavy system load as it has to extract or pull all the data. Full load extraction. I'm extracting all the data. This is an example of which load? No need to track the changes.
Yeah.
No need to track the changes. Where you are loading the data blindly, you're not thinking about changes, anything. There is a heavy system load. Very important. These are the important keywords. Heavy system load. When it happens, heavy system load. Think. Come on.
Initial load or full load?
Historical load.
Yeah, history load. Yeah.
If you remember in full load, I have told you two ways. In current load also you have full load and historical load is by default a full load, right? But in current load, if there is a full load, you might have to track the changes. What are the changes? What are the differences? But in historical load, you're not bothered anything about changes. You are just taking all the data and you are loading it. I told you that example that you are moving from Delhi to Bangalore. So what you will do? You will pack all the items, cartoon, and then you will shift it to Bangalore, right? There you will not check that, okay, this fridge is of this color, this is of this color, this is of this quality, right? You're not applying any transformation logic here. This is incremental load. You can see from this graph, like incremental load means changes in the source data are tracked, right? You are only loading the incremental data or the new set of data or the data which has changed since the last successful extraction. No need to go through the process of extraction all the times. An overhead of tracking the changes is required. Yeah. But here an overhead is that you have to find that what is the new data here. That only data you will move. The logic for incremental extraction is much more complex, but the system load is reduced. Why this is much more complex in incremental load? Come on, guys, apply your brain. You all are engineers. Engineers are paid for the brain only. Why this is much more complex? Incremental load.
To track the historical changes.
Then someone else. In incremental load, you are loading the new set of data. If the same data is present earlier, you are not going to load that. So you have to do a comparison of data, right? So here you are checking it. But in the full load, remember, the system will send you all the data, 1st December, 2nd December, 3rd December, 4th December blindly. But if it is incremental, it will check that, okay, already I have sent data of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. No need, send the data of 5th December only. It is applying some logic, right? That's why incremental is much more complex. But the system load is reduced. Why the system load is reduced here?
Less number of records.
Less number of records. I am sending only few records, which is a new record. But in full load, again and again, you are sending the whole data. So system load, there will be more load on the system. Okay. Any question on this, guys? No, fine. Unstructured data. So I think we will not be working on unstructured data, but you should know this. Handling unstructured data is a tedious job as this data must be prepared before extraction. Yeah. Unstructured data still it is in the phase of getting matured. Okay. Handling this is still a challenge. Okay. In a structured data, it is very simple. Just hire a data entry operator, it will send you the data and you have to load that in your database. But unstructured data, storing it, processing it, it's a bit challenging. You have technology of MapReduce, the key value pairs, NoSQL and all this to works on that. You have the Snowflake database, it can handle this unstructured data. Unstructured data needs to be stored in data lake before extraction. I think I have told you about data lake. I have shown you there that this data lake will be having heterogeneous sources of data, heterogeneous nature of data, is structured, unstructured from multiple sources and all those things. So this unstructured data needs to be processed, needs to be cleansed, needs to be made in a particular format. Okay, then only you can play with this. Now you have data extraction tools. Okay, this is important slide. Batch processing, legacy data, extraction tools, on-premise data, homogeneous set of data sources. Okay. Now cloud-based real-time extraction data as part of ETL or ELT process. Now, first of all, what is batch processing? Can you give me an example of batch processing for my daily life? Yeah. Batch processing example from your daily life. Who will tell me? Your salary, if it is getting created, right? That is happening in batches, no? Right? So that is happening in batches.
Okay.
So when you're moving your legacy data from one system to another system, or when you're migrating the data, that is happening through batches, batch processing. You will run a batch, right? And it will take all the data and it will move to other location. So that is happening in batches. Do you think that your salary in your organization, there is one accountant who is paying your salary through your Paytm, through his Paytm account, or he is adding the account details and then he is opening that mobile and then he is entering the data amount? Okay, I have to give 100 rupees to Tanvir, 200 to this like this. Do you think it is happening like that? No, it's not happening like that. They have a batch processing. They will run that batch, and through that batch, the salary will be credited in accounts. Okay. And whenever you have to move data, legacy data, old data from one system to another system, that also happens through batch processing. Batch processing means you have a historical load job. Okay, you will run that job and that will load data, all the history data. So that is known as batch processing when you're moving bulk of data. Okay. You have extraction tools, on-premise data, sources. Yeah. Nowadays, you have cloud-based real-time extraction of data as part of ETL or ELT process. In cloud-based, the best part is like, okay, I will give you an example. You went to Reliance Trend, you have done shopping there, okay? You have done the payment, and I think you all have observed that after you've done the payment, no, you will receive a message that, okay, the next time if you will come and do a shopping of 2000 rupees, and I will give you a discount of 500 rupees. How many of you have observed this kind of scenario, this kind of messages you have received? Anyone? No?
Yeah, we're getting, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting no?
Yeah, yes,
You
yes.
went to Reliance Trend, you've done shopping, you've done the payment. Immediately on your mobile, you will get the message that, okay, come next time within this date, and we'll give you 500 rupees discount, purchase of 2000 or 3000, whatever it may be. Now, imagine how fast it is happening. You have done the payment, immediately the data has went to that cloud server or whatever server it is. It has processed it, it has done some analytics, and then it has thrown you a message that, okay, Mr. XYZ, do a transaction of this much amount the next time, and we'll give you an offer of 500 rupees or whatever it may be. So how it is happening? That's a real-time extraction of data. Immediately you have done the payment and then you have received the message. Okay, that is something real-time extraction of data, and that is happening through cloud. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now think, if the same scenario which I have told you about Reliance Trains, if I will implement through batch processing, so do you think you will get the data immediately? Get that message immediately? No, you will not get that immediately, because that is happening through batch processing, and batches will not run at each and every time. The batches will run after hours, or maybe after days, or sometime after weeks. So suppose in this Reliance Trend scenario, the batch is running after 6 hours. So what will happen? So 6 hours duration customer data it will process, and after 6 hours, then it will send you the message. Different customers, different messages, right? But here in real-time extraction, immediately it is sending you that message. So this is the difference between real-time extraction, the cloud-based, or the batch processing. But they both have their own pros and cons. Okay, so this is a like you can get questions in interviews that what's the difference between batch processing and real-time processing, and tell me with the help of an example. Okay. Okay, now coming to transformation. So I will start this tomorrow because this is second part. So extraction is almost done. Now transformation and loading is there. Okay. So any question, guys, before we start transformation tomorrow? Anything you want to ask? Generic scenario, anything else?
Sir, batch processing means nothing but collection of jobs.
Collection of jobs. No, that's not collection of jobs. But what happens? That's a job only. But
Okay.
that job will run after certain duration of time. After a certain duration of time, maybe after 6 hours, maybe after 12 hours, maybe after 1 day, 2 day. Okay, that's the difference. Don't think that batch processing means I'm running 10 jobs together. No, it's not like that. Here, what happens? It will take the data of a particular duration and then it will run and then it will load it. Suppose if you want to understand that how your business is performing, okay, so you don't want the data of each and every hour, because from that it is difficult to make an to understand how it is performing, right? You will think that, okay, send me data of each and every day. So what it will do, the batch, so it will gather data of 1 day, then it will process and then it will load it. That is batch processing. But in real-time processing, you want the real-time data immediately what transaction is happening. Okay, or maybe take the example of that Paytm or Google Pay or UPI based. Immediately you are doing the transaction, immediately you are getting a message. But suppose you have done a transaction of 100 rupees somewhere. Now you're going to buy jewelry. You have made a transaction of 50,000 rupees. And you are expecting that I will get message tomorrow that, okay, this much amount has been credited to Tanish showroom and all those things. No, you want immediately. And then you can show them as a proof that, yeah, see, the amount has been created, right? But in batch processing, you want to analyze some bigger data. Okay, and that's something batch processing and real-time processing. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
And one more thing, like I have mentioned you about history load. So again, the job which is doing the history load, that is totally different than the current load job. Okay, so because in history load you have different logic, so job will be different. So remember like this, if the logic is different for a particular function or application, the job will be different. It's like that. Okay, any other question, guys? Okay, so if no question, let's stop here. We'll connect tomorrow again at the same time and come with some questions. Okay, fine. Thank you, take care, bye.
Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.